Good morning. No, never mind. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's not yet dark outside because there was a time change. We lost an hour. Before we get started, let me tell you something. You're going to hear a couple of things right now. You're going to hear the tumbling of my dryer. Possibly, you're going to hear the sound of my dishwasher because, it's almost done, but, it seems like almost every time I log on here, I'm always talking about my dishwasher. You know why? Because we have a really bad habit, and by we, I mean my lady, and me too, of using dishes to cook, to eat on, what dishes are used for. And after we're finished eating, none of us want to clean up, so we just keep piling dishes in the sink until one day one of us gets crazy about it and then just goes ahead and washes some and washes some more in the dishwasher. So yeah, so you're gonna hear those things. You're probably, and the reason I say probably is because these type of music is very soft. You're probably gonna hear a record in the background, and if you do, what we are listening to today is no other than the Minecraft vinyl soundtrack, and that's before they even updated it even further. It's a beautiful music. It's a beautiful soundtrack from, who is it, C14, I believe his name is. Incredible dude. Like this, every time I listen to this, it just brings back memories from when I was years younger and before I even moved out to become a stupid adult so I can pay stupid bills. Yeah. I like listening to it from time to time and just remember the old days. Another thing you may hear is my cat. He's been a crybaby still. And one last thing, you're gonna hear this. Damn, that IPA already? That's Sculpin? No, you're wrong. What you're hearing right now was a can of Liquid Death being opened up, because Liquid Death is actually pretty good. I enjoy it. You guys should really try it. It's actually not bad for what it is. I'm drinking sparkling water. They came out with 3 new flavors. I think it was a lime and a berry. I tried the berry. It's pretty good. And I forgot what the third one was. But they also have plain water and then sparkling water. They all come in different colored cans. The whole gimmick about it is, if you guys ever watched Mr. Pickles, Mr. Pickles was just centered around a demon dog thing and what do you call it, a good show, a really good show. Well, anyways, the animators of that show, they also worked with doing the animations of Liquid Death, and you could tell that it's the same people because it's so distinctive, the look, that it's just them promoting sparkling mountain water or plain mountain water, flavored mountain water, and I gotta say, I fell for it. I really can't get enough. And the whole thing is, it looks like beer. The can does look like beer. It's like especially the white one. For the plain water, it looks like a can of Corona. And I love playing that prank with my old coworkers, and especially this job is when I'm giving pass down of the shift so far to the following shift taking over. I just in the middle of it, I just pull out a can. And then I open it up. You can only do it once because then they'll just catch up. But pull out a can and they just look at you are you crazy? What are you doing? And my boss just looked at me like I had some real nuts or I was just dumb or both. And when they're like, "What are you drinking?" I just give them the can. And of course, the first thing they do is look at it and then smell it just to reassure. And I tell them, "Look, it's just water." It really is. And I pour it into a clear cup and show them. They just get a good laugh out of it. It's pretty good. But other than that, it's a solid drinking water and stuff. So how you guys doing? I forgot to say what I always say. Welcome back to the Mind of Mando. I'm your host, Armando Ortega, and this is episode 7. If I get that wrong, then I'm dumb. But no, this is episode 7. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing pretty solid, It's it's Monday. It's my day off. I'm gonna be on Zoom with my family around 7 o'clock, but can't really complain about anything like that. just it's been another week, but another week where it's just a lot of things going through my mind, and something that actually gave me a pretty good laugh was that finally, let me paint you a picture. The world is in turmoil. There are two groups of people. One group has a certain thought process and likes a certain person. Another group has a different thought process and likes a different person. There's an area where nobody is feuding. Nobody is fighting. They're not letting those topics divide them. So you think it'd be happy, right? Hey, cool, we just like each other in the concept of a character, not really what our views are. And then we have one person who calls the police and says that they've been assaulted and battered, and that those people were racists. Yes, you already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jussie Smollett, however you pronounce his name. It's a French guy. So basically, you guys already know the gist of it. Dude called the police and said that he was walking away from Subway after getting a sandwich, and then two guys in MAGA hats came out and started beating him up. Put a little sad time rope around his head, and just said this is MAGA country, and then called him all these bad names. And then after they took his stories, and he started coming out more like, oh, he's getting death threats and everything like that to his house or whatever. Mysterious, I think they put like a mysterious powder that was deemed like safe or something like that. And everybody's like, well, not everybody, but for a while people were all like, oh man, this is terrible. This is terrible. For what? For how he looks, for who he is, his identity, whatever, you know. And the more he kept talking, the more it became evident that, hey, this guy's story isn't how do you say? It's not making sense. It's not connecting. There's some flaws here and there. I could have sworn he said one thing this day, and now he said something else today. You know, it's weird. So it didn't really take long to find out that this fool, he planned the whole thing. Like, he planned it. Because, you know, what do you think is going to happen? Just that the cops are going to, you know, take your word and then do like, oh, well, we can't find them, let's drop the case or whatever. No. One, here's the thing that I'm not even talking to him directly unless he listens, which I highly doubt is likely. One thing that he didn't take in consideration is like, dude, or maybe he did. He's a high profile dude. And I'm talking about because he's on that one show, Empire. I never watched that show ever in my life. But I think he's supposed to portray a gay dude in there. Like, because he is one in real life. And how do you say it? So that's already supposed to give him, like, you know, a one up in the oppression meter. 2, he's a black man. You know, another leg up on the oppression meter. And 3, this is 2019, where the presidente of the United States is the man who tweets out mean words but gives us cheap gas. Man, that hurts now saying it. But what do you call it? So of course this dude was just looked as the trifecta of oppression, and what is looked as oppression or considered oppression nowadays. You know what? If you were born with fair skin and you grew up with an abusive father who used to like hate you and your mother, and then just one day he makes your mom go to sleep forever, and then he, like, you know, goes to sleep forever in front of you, and then you go somewhere and you start growing up in poverty because you ran away from your living situation that was treating you even worse, and then you're trying to make something of yourself, but no one's giving you a break because, you know, you got privilege. You know, look at you, how you look. You got privilege, bro. It's like, never mind that these other people are given free stuff or helped out a lot more just because of how they look. You know, you're out here trying to find food in trash cans. You got the world made for you, bro. It's ridiculous. That whole thought process is ridiculous, guys. Come on, we all face our fair share of inequality and our own biases against us and everything. That's terrible that people still believe that the things they believe nowadays. But it was working for Jesse, because even to this day, or Juicy, how do you pronounce his name? I'm calling him Mr. Smollett. It's working for Mr. Smollett there because even to this day, even though he got his sentencing, one, he's still holding up his innocence, and two, he still has a good amount of people backing him despite the overwhelming hard proof evidence in front of everyone. The investigation continued despite Mr. Smollett believing that it was going to stop and it was just going to send the message you wanted to send. No, that's not how it works. You reported a crime, and they don't want that crime to happen again to anybody else. So they're going to investigate, and guess what they found? Apparently the day before, Mr. Smollett was there with the two people he hired to carry out the act at the same spot, caught by the same camera, and reenacting exactly what they were going to do. In this world of technology and CCTV everywhere, you think that you won't get caught? It's insane. It's insane that people still believe that. Even though it does happen, it's still insane, Especially in like a city area, especially if you're high profile. I was like, I doubt he was going to do anything in like rural areas where it's just, woods or just open fields of nothingness. Why? Because he would have no proof, and people would start asking more questions like, what the hell are you even doing out here? What are you doing? There you could have no proof, but it's just like, so they couldn't catch you. But I mean, like, it'd be harder to sell your story. So anyways, this fool was like, this dude not only hired these guys to do it, they got caught on camera reenacting this, well, not reenacting, but practicing their scene the day before in the same spot. And on top of that, he was sending himself like those letters, those menacing things. I'm gonna take a drink real quick, guys. Hold on, I'm parched. Man, this water's top notch. And I mean, dude, it's like there's so much overwhelming evidence. And I think like, what was it? They caught some like text messages or something. Like they found some old text that he was sending to the guys talking about, payment, or talking about how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it, and where they were going to do it. And on top of that, I believe they caught the guys in a different area and everything like that. And they testified, and they were like, yeah, no, he hired us. So you have all this evidence going against you, proving that you were the one who orchestrated the entire thing. You were the one trying to create division where there wasn't any, trying to give a particular group of people a terrible image, and you were proven wrong. So now you're like painting a bad picture of just a bunch of people that never was even involved in what happened to you or what you orchestrated. You had to pay two guys who were darker than you to wear the hats and do that. It's just like it. I mean, they're not smart. Like, Jesse is not smart. Celebrities aren't really that smart, especially with what they've been spouting these past few years. But it's just like, come on, that's just plain common sense, But anyways, he got a few days ago, he got a sentence. He got a sentencing. And I think the judge kind of teared him a new one, telling him that he deserves no sympathy for what he did. He's an embarrassment. Well, so what's happening now is basically this dude got sentenced to 150 days in jail for creating a hate crime hoax, He got 150 days. And this guy was not happy when he heard it. And what else they said that he had to pay like $120,000 in restitution and a $25,000 fine. And I believe after he gets out of his 150 days, he's in probation for 30 months. How much is 30 months? Like 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, he's on probation. And it's just like, dude, was it worth it? Was it really worth it? You try to create division, trying to paint a broad group of people as terrible, violent, racists, but then got caught. And then you just painted yourself as a fool. I wouldn't even say a jester, because at least a jester is like, it was paid to entertain, to do dumb stuff. But you're just a fool, man. It's insane. And then, like, when he was sentenced, he was just straight up, when he was talking, he was like, I'm not, suicidal. I don't want to end myself. I think he was trying to take a page of Mr. I don't even call him Mr. that guy. What's his name? Epstein? I don't know how to say his name. And it's just like, do you really think that's going to happen to you? Really? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure this guy's like, I believe he tried to go for, like, not being all there and everything like that. Honestly, the gist of it is, one, he doesn't believe he deserves jail time or anything from that matter. But two, it's just, he doesn't, if he goes to jail, he doesn't want to be in Gen Pop. He doesn't. Because in Gen Pop, if there's anybody who's mad at him for what he's done, it's like, he's not going to have a good time. He's not going to take over the jail and become the kingpin and everything like that. No. He's not. And on top of that, it's just like, give him his preference when it comes down to romantic relations. I mean, like, they're gonna know it, and they're gonna take advantage of it. So yeah, but that's basically what I feel is gonna happen, how he feels and everything like that. But he kept saying that over and over and over again, that he doesn't feel like going to sleep forever. He doesn't feel any of that type of stuff, which honestly, it feels unwarranted, although there is another reason why I think he said it, and I gotta figure it out. I'll try and broaden on that either later on or in a future episode. But yeah, as he was leaving, he kept saying that the only reason he was put in jail was because he's black. My guy, that's not the reason. The reason is because there's video evidence of you with the guys planning the attack, like step by step, the day before. And then there's evidence of your texts, and then there's evidence by the actual people coming in and saying, like, yeah, no, he paid us. There's evidence of all this stuff. And there's even evidence of showing that you sent yourself the letters. And it's just, there's such overwhelming evidence. You can't possibly think you're still a victim. Like, honestly, if you even like Subway, why are you going to Subway, dude? Come on, man. Jersey Mike's is above Subway, and Jimmy John's is above both of them. First of all, go to Jimmy John's. Two, it's just like, if you do like Subway, and that was probably the cheapest, closest thing near you that was still open at that time of night, if it happened at night, I think it happened at night. It's like, one, why are you walking? Don't you have, like, chauffeurs? Don't you have a car you can just go to? Like, even a beater for those type of areas? But two, it's like, why go to Subway? That's, I don't know, man. It's just like, honestly, it's just like, go home, dude. If you literally went to Subway and just got your sandwich and just went home, really, this wasn't orchestrated by you, guess what? You wouldn't be in jail right now. And you'd be still doing Empire. I don't watch that show, so I don't really care about it. But yeah, no, it's just like, that's what could have been happening right now. But no, instead, now you're in jail. You're in jail for 150 days, which is literally only like 5 months. Not even half a year, 5 months. And it's just like, you're gonna do time in Gen Pop unless, I don't know, maybe the jail was like, hey, throw some money, we'll let you have your own cell in your own block. I don't know, dude. From what I heard is a lot of people that were in jail prefer to be in prison because jail's a little more sketchier than prisons. But even though prisons are always portrayed to be worse, I don't know, maybe they're lying. Give me a second. My record has stopped. I gotta flip over. Hold on. My kitties. Bum, 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 bum. Gonna go and start playing this music. There we go. I'm back. So, but yeah, no, that's just my whole thing of his. It's just like, I think his appeal or something like that, his plea just got denied recently. So this dude's doing his 150 days, and I'm like, honestly, dude, you just, in the end of the day, it's not a black or white thing. It's not a Republican, Democrat thing. It's none of that. You just wanted to divide people who weren't even divided. You wanted there to be problems where there weren't any problems. You wanted to start some stuff up when people were just carrying on with their lives. Like, look at you, you're a joke. But yeah, so that's all I really got to say for that right now and everything. Something that I was doing today is this. I had a lazy day today, but I still cleaned up somewhat where I live. Went to the gym, had a good pump and everything, and then I took a shower. I made myself my bagel, cream cheese, and jelly. Had some tea and some water right now. I still have my tea, actually. Let me drink some. But one thing that I was doing for all of it was watching my old videos, my old comic channel. And to be honest, it's like, it was in 2016 when I made my last videos. But, oh my God. Like, there was this one comment where somebody asked me, is like, that my videos look professional and everything, which I would agree from, like, episode 3 onward. And I just really started listening to myself, trying to stay in the mindset of somebody who's never heard me before. And I mean, like, I don't want to brag or toot my own horn, but it's just like, dude, I was into it. I was into what I was talking about and what I was doing and everything. It's just like about comics, about like speculations, theories, everything like that. It's just like, I was into it. That was something that I was doing that I loved. And honestly, it's just like, I'm hoping to kind of bring that same energy here. Like right now, I'm just literally leaning, just chatting, It's like, I'm not like standing upright going like, well, you see, sir, my opinions on this matter are so and so and so. I believe that this individual believed that he was doing something that would benefit his community, benefit the type of people that he believes are worthy or in need of benefiting. Unfortunately, he didn't calculate every single step of his plan, that it did eventually catch up to him. No, of course I'm not going to talk like that. Come on, man. It's a podcast. But yeah, no, it's just like, I really got to get into it. And I'm feeling more motivated to do it, honestly. Because doing this podcast, with the people who are here and listening, however long they're listening, it's just like, it feels nice. It feels really good. And honestly, my buddy, my number one fanboy, he wants to join, which, once I get more equipment, once I get a better setup, then yeah. Oh, excuse me. He's doing now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just took a shower, made myself my stuff. I'm in my pajamas doing this, and I love feeling comfortable. I love doing this. And honestly, this is just a long, hopeful hope of mine. I hope I can do this as like, a full-time gig to the point where I don't have to work a full-time job anymore. I can focus more on this or, just move to part-time. There's a lot of things I want to do, and I feel like I'm taking the steps of finally doing it. And I'm glad, and I'm happy. But yeah, I was about to say the name, but my other channel, I feel like I'm going to start doing that again. Doing Captain Britain next. I already did Spider-Man, Hulk, Moon Knight. And I'm going to do Captain Britain next. Speaking of comics, Star Wars has their own comics. Old News, they've been having their own comics for years. They've been having their own everything for years. But something that I kept thinking about today was usually like, the Book of Boba show. It's like, I think I told you in the last or before that I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the show, and I rewatched it again with my lady, and she loved it. I mean, she loved it mainly for Grogu, but like I loved the show, and she enjoyed the show, and she can't stop quoting "La Cabantha" over and over again. But something that I kept noticing little by little as I kept rewatching was that the contrast, or how do you call it, the differences between Boba Fett in the Book of Boba versus how he was in The Mandalorian are very, very different. Of course, Boba Fett only got minutes of screen time in total when it came down to the original trilogy, and it was really the fans and the extended universe that started filling in the gaps for him, which were canon until Disney bought off LucasArts, Lucasfilms, and everything. But oh, look at all my cats. But how do you call it? It was just like people liked him because he looked really cool, and I gotta agree, he looks super cool. That armor company, AR-500, they're how do you say it? They made their own. They partnered up with Galactech, I think, and Galactech does like Mandalorian style modern airsoft armor and everything like that. And they partnered up together, and they actually made a full body armor that looked like a modern day Earth version of the Mandalorian armor, and it looks very cool. I have one of their helmets, but how do you call it? Yeah, so what do you call it? I was just looking at it because it was like the Boba Fett in his show. He was more like, I don't want to rule with fear. I don't want to rule with those who don't respect me. If I didn't have all the stuff that I have right now. He was like, I want people to respect me. I want people to be loyal to me because they respect me, not because they fear me. Which is noble, which is understandable and respectable. I will agree. He was, I mean, all that time in the Sarlacc pit, my bad. You can really start just thinking and everything. And I understand as to why he kept being in that back to tank for majority of the episodes until like, what was it, either the last one or the second to last, where he was declared fully healed, that he didn't need anymore. Because the Sarlacc pit, you get consumed by a Sarlacc very, very slowly. So the only reason why Boba survived was because of his armor, but that doesn't mean that he received zero damage. And I get it. I totally get it, why he would need to continuously soak in a back-to tank night after night after night. The thing that I don't understand is this takes place after his appearances in season 2 of The Mandalorian. And in The Mandalorian, yeah, he wasn't peak or anything like that. He had sand and dirt in his head. But this fool was handling people. Like, it didn't look like he had a crutch or anything like that. It didn't look like he was handicapped. This guy was handling stormtroopers. Granted, they were stormtroopers, but I mean, like, it's established in lore that they are elite troopers, And he was just handling them with his skill, his precision, his power, everything. And it's like, where'd that Boba Fett go, I mean, like, him fighting almost naked with Black Chrysanthemum, it's understandable. Black Chrysanthemum's a Wookiee, and the fact that he just didn't die is incredible. But in the end of the day, even with his armor, he's Boba Fett. Even those who want to step up with him have to realize that he's still dangerous, or have to at least believe that he's still dangerous. And honestly, it's just, I didn't really get that vibe in his show, and I hope season 2 is actually capitalized now that he's declared fully healed. Actually, shows more of the Boba all of us expect to see and everything like that. Especially since in the final episode he said what he said, possibly gonna move on. I don't know, but yeah. So that was just my whole thoughts about the whole Boba Fett stuff. I still love that guy, and honestly, I kind of feel like they're kind of overkill it with Mandalorians now and everything, because there's other great bounty hunters out there. Honestly, with the bounty hunter genre in general. But if they're ever gonna do anything with the Mandalorian, I hope 100%. I hope that they do something with Jango Fett. Jango Fett needs to be fleshed out more. Yes, he has his own comics and his own stories in the comic books, but it's just we don't even see Jango Fett at all in any of the episodes in the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars takes place after the clones are already established, and the clones were only showed up in the battlefield after. No, was it after? Yeah, it was after Jango died, beheaded by Mace Windu. And it's like, people keep joking around that Mace Windu is gonna be back, and I don't expect Jango to be back at all because he got his head cut off. But it's just like, why can't we get like a Jango Fett story, you know? Because he was the original. I mean, they're gonna have to use that technology to make Tamora Morrison, you know, younger looking, just like how he was back in 2002. Yeah, 2002. I was 8. Wow. But what do you call it? Honestly, Jango Fett needs to be a thing. His armor is really sweet. I actually preferred it more than Boba's armor. Just the silver and blue color scheme is incredible. I love the video game and everything. I used to play it on my GameCube, and it was incredible. What do you call it? Yeah, they just need to make it happen. And honestly, it's insane the things Jango Fett has gone through, his reputation, his achievements, his close calls. Jango Fett was so cool. I really loved him. Like, where do you think Boba became such a badass from? It's his father, you know? Of course, Boba had to grow up still as a kid and everything, but he lived off not only the new you know, skills and information he got from future bounty hunters, but from what his father taught him. And in the end, Boba Fett is a product of his father, Jango. Yeah, so it's just, you know, that's what I hope for. That's what I hope for. And I know, just all I can do right now is anticipate for the Obi-Wan series, which I hope Obi-Wan series is about Obi-Wan, not about anybody else. Have antagonists in there and everything, but it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi for a reason. It's not called a show that has Obi-Wan as the face, but, you know, there's other characters that are going to be having the limelight. No, Obi-Wan. Make it about Obi-Wan. I want Obi-Wan to be the one who is the main focus of his own show. And honestly, Kathleen Kennedy, she's been screwing it up a lot. And I heard her and Jon Favreau had butted heads extremely before. And Jon Favreau took lead of the Mandalorian series, and you guys see the result. He killed it. It's amazing what he did with the Mandalorian series. But either way, it's just like, another thing that I'm that I really want to see is the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson and everything like that. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I used to be a Batman fanboy back in the day. Like, I mean, Batman was everything for me. His merchandise, ironically speaking, my pajama pants are covered in Batman logos. That's weird. But what do you call it? I've been having these for years already, so it's just something I've been having since before my feelings started changing on him. But what do you call it? A lot of his comics, a lot of his toys. Used to watch a lot of the Batman animated series, along with, you know, the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Iconic theme songs, especially the Justice League series. And yeah, I mean, one of my tattoos that I wanted to have was literally a combination of the bat symbol, but from the Arkham logos, you know? And I'll get to that one in a bit. But I ultimately didn't do it, you know, because word of advice, if you really want something, just like have it in your head or save it on your phone if it's an actual picture, and just sit on it for like a couple of days, you know, or maybe even a couple of weeks or so. Just sit on it, because who knows where you'll be in the future, and you might, you know, change your mind. And if you get it right now, you might regret it, and no one wants that, when especially if it's something permanent on your body, you know. I guess you could always cover it up, but honestly, is if you get something that's too difficult to cover up, the only other choice is either to leave it or not laser eye, what the hell, tattoo laser removal, you know. So yeah, just sit on it for a bit. But yeah, no, I used to be a huge Batman fanboy, and I loved it and everything. He was great, and I always argued the same exact thing. Batman could beat anybody with prep time. Give Batman prep time, he could win on anybody. He's smart. He has resources. He beat Superman. He beat Wonder Woman. He beat the entire Justice League. His contingency plans. He saved them all countless times when they couldn't even save the world. Yada, yada, yada. Batman wins. Batman wins. Batman wins. Thing is, when people started asking who would win the fight against Batman and Spider-Man, my bias came out. Because Spider-Man is my number one hero. His symbol was the first tattoo I've ever had. And to this day, I don't regret it. He is my favorite hero of all time. And I was like, well, I have a lot of Spider-Man comics, and I've seen Spider-Man do stuff that even makes Batman's feats kind of look, not great and everything like that. And it's just like, I was like, damn. I was like, I want Batman because of prep time, but Spider-Man, he also has prep time. And that is how I really started to think critically when it came down to dumb topics like who would win in a fight in fake universes where superheroes are a thing. After I really started like comparing stuff and everything like that, I came to a realization. Batman always wins in comics and in TV shows because Batman is now the most recognizable superhero in all DC Comics and between Marvel and DC and all the other comic companies. Of course they're not going to make him lose. There's stories where he even got buried alive in a straitjacket and he still managed to get out somehow. How? You got to suspend your disbelief. I understand, but if you're trying to tell me that you're portraying a human being with human being limitations, then you can't tell me to suspend my belief. It's kind of odd. That's like me saying like, oh, here's a cat. This is a cat that does what cats does and can only do things that cats do. And then next thing you know, I'm seeing that cat like start flying and just running up walls and everything like that nonstop. And you're like, oh, just suspend your disbelief. Yeah, it's just suspend your belief and everything like that. It's like, no, you told me that was a regular cat. What? Regular cats can't do that. It's weird. But yeah, and then I started noticing that he would really win because he is the golden boy and everything. Superman was the most recognizable superhero in all of existence, but it got overlapped with Batman and his popularity and his fan base. And now that we've all grown up and things have become a lot more hectic and we've been through a lot more in life, a lot of people can connect a lot more with Batman because Batman is dark and gritty, has experienced loss and hard times and everything. But you also got to realize Batman's ultra mega rich. He has he has all his Robins. He has Alfred. He has Lucius. He has Commissioner Gordon. He has a lot of people who care about him as a family member and romantically. And you're telling me that this guy still feels the need to be all dark and brooding? You have people who literally care about you. I'm not saying forget about what happened to your parents or what you experienced as a kid, but don't act like no one's part of your life. It's like, come on, dude. And it's just like, how do you call it? Yeah, they just make him win all the time. Like the Omega Beams. The Omega Beams can't miss. They've caught up to the likes of Flash. They caught up to the likes of Superman and Wonder Woman. To everyone. Except Batman does a backflip and it misses him? What? You know? That's kind of weird. They went to the planet of Apocalypse where Darkseid's at, and he was just absolutely making Superman work. He was putting Superman to work. And then Batman comes with this basically this exoskeleton armor, and they're all like, oh yeah, this is supposed to put me on par to withstand Darkseid's hits. And I was like, okay, but it's not like you're encased in an entire suit of armor with as much cushion on the inside to brace you for just blunt impact, you know? It's like you're wearing an exoskeleton, but the rest of your body's still exploding. He punched you straight in the head. It's like he punched you on your head. How is your head still intact? How are you not dead with one of his hits? This dude can break solid objects with a single hit, and you're telling me that just because you're wearing an exoskeleton, you're good? What? And it just doesn't make sense. The whole Batman, even with prep time, guess what? Other superheroes prepare too. Not like Batman. Yeah, they do. Like Batman. Just like when Spider-Man was fighting Morlun and everything like that, and Spider-Man became realized, hey, Morlun's never going to stop. Let me see what makes him tick. And he found out a whole thing that he could use against Morlun. He ended up winning in the end. It's an old comic series. It's my first comic book for Spider-Man when I was 7 years old, back in 2001. It's like you're telling me Spider-Man can't prepare. You're telling me no other hero can prepare. Take this into account. Batman is smart. I will give him that. Batman is smart and capable and rich and physically fit. Are you telling me that an alien who has the ability to go from the distance of the moon to wherever Batman's at, just completely obliterate him in a flurry of punches that would disintegrate him in the time it takes for Batman to even begin the process of having a single thought and everything like that? You're telling me Batman could beat that guy? It's like, no, he can't. If people truly wanted to end Batman, they would do it with absolutely zero problems. Zero. Batman essentially has to have every single thing on him at all times and know when he has to use them or will know when he has to prepare him. He doesn't. Batman has been caught off guard. You can't show me a comic of Batman absolutely putting a fight with Superman, and then in the next comic, just a 2-bit thug just like, dazes him with a single hit. No. Come on, man. It's comics. I shouldn't be getting annoyed by this, but it is, because you can't sell me a human being and tell me that it's a human being and what I'm seeing is some extraterrestrial stuff going on, But yeah. Anyways, my original reason for bringing this up is the new Batman movie looks really sick. I remember when the cast for Batman was going to be Ben Affleck back in 2013, 14, 15, I forgot. I think it was 14. I remember when they were casting Ben Affleck as Batman. And I thought, no, what? Because I remember Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and it wasn't a good movie. I mean, it was a nice suit, but it wasn't a good movie. And it was just like, he's going to be Batman? What the hell? I was like, this is terrible. And then I saw Ben Affleck's released photos of how his physique looked like, and I was like, dang, this dude is built. And I'm like, oh my god, he's working hard to be Batman, Bruce Wayne, and everything like that. The Superman versus Batman, or Batman versus Superman, I forgot the title. It was Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice came out, and me and my then girlfriend went to go see it. I was surprised, because Batman doesn't kill as one roll, whatever. I was surprised to see him absolutely using the Batmobile to grab other cars with a cable and just flip them over. And I was like, no, people could survive that. They could probably survive that. Until I saw one of the cars he handled literally exploded. I'm like, those guys are dead. What the hell? And I was like, this guy has no problem killing people. He has zero problems. And I was like, what the hell? But the thing is, in the end of the movie, I loved Ben Affleck's Batman. It was great. I have yet to see the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, but Ben Affleck's Batman is incredible. And I think we all know that iconic scene of him going into that warehouse and saving Clark's mother and everything like that. But still, it was just like, I want more of this one. I mean, no disrespect to Christian Bale, he played it great, but Christian Bale played more of a realistic Batman, while Ben Affleck portrayed to us the comic book Batman. And I was like, oh my god. So last year or so, when they announced that Robert Pattinson has been casted as Batman, I wanted to be like the guy from Twilight. I wanted to bash it. But then I remember what happened when I did it with Ben Affleck being casted as Batman. And I was like, you know what? People can be redeemed, just like Ryan Reynolds when he did Green Lantern and the god-awful Deadpool version in X-Men Origins. And he came back with the actual good Deadpool. People can be redeemed. I have yet to watch the movie. I want to. I heard it's like 3 hours long, and I'm excited to go see it. I want to go with my lady. The thing is, I may go tonight, actually. I don't know. The thing is, it's, I heard really good reviews about it. Really good reviews. And it's like, I had a feeling he was going to be good. Because the trailer looked amazing. It looked incredible. I was like, yeah, I had a feeling he was going to be good. And I was right. My feeling was right. And I'm excited to go see it. I mean, like, from judging from the trailers and how they did everything, one, it took me a while to get used to that his Batmobile is the Camaro. I may be wrong. I haven't seen the movie yet. But I'm pretty sure that's the Batmobile. I have no problems, but it kind of reminded me a little too much of, what's his name? Not Johnny Blaze's, what do you call it? Ghost Rider. Who's the Ghost Rider that played, the newer Ghost Rider, the Mexican guy from East LA. What was his name? Let me look it up. Actually, sorry guys, I should have prepared this. I didn't even know I was going to talk about Ghost Rider real quick. Roberto Reyes. It kind of reminded me too much of him, honestly. Which is a whole nother topic that I want to get into, but I'm not going to. Or maybe I will, I don't know. Well, anyways, it kind of reminded me of too much of Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider. Because instead of riding a motorcycle or a chopper, he rides a Camaro and everything. So, but I was just like, you know what? No, this is a different take on Batman. Although DC's doing their own thing. I mean, they've tried to do the extended universe thing, but I think they're going more for a multiverse type of deal. But I mean, like you had not Heath Ledger's R.I.P. He had Jared Leto's Joker. Hold on. Oh my god. He had Jared Leto's Joker, and then they made a solo Joker movie, but with oh my god, I just had the urge to sneeze. What was his name? So I saw him in Gladiator, but I feel so bad that I forgot his name. Joaquin Phoenix. There we go. I mean, I looked it up. I didn't even see his name. I just remembered mid looking it up. Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, and I remember people were like, "What? What are they doing?" And it was a different take on the Joker and everything. I rented it from Redbox, and I never returned it, so they charged me like $35. But I loved it. I'm gonna rewatch it, but I loved the Joker movie. It was really. I loved how they just went about it, you know. But yeah. So and then now they have. I heard the Riddler's gonna come out. I mean, there hasn't been a Riddler portrayed in live action since Jim Carrey. But how do you call it? Yeah. So I really want to go see it. I'm excited to go see it and everything. And honestly, I know it's gonna be good. I totally, wholeheartedly know it's going to be good, and I'm excited. And yeah, but that's my whole thing about Batman. And I feel honestly that it's going to be like a mixture between realistic and comic book style. You know, it's like I said, Christian Bale did the realistic Batman, while Ben Affleck did the comic book Batman. From what I'm seeing now is they're trying to portray a Batman that can still be realistic. That people can probably do this. It's plausible, but it's like they still want to give people that comic book feeling of Batman, and it's just like from the good reviews that I'm hearing about it, I think they're gonna deliver and everything. So yeah, and that reminds me kind of the Arkham series. You guys anybody ever play the Arkham series? It was a beautiful series. Starting off with Arkham Asylum, like when back since like 2009, right? I was 14 when it came out. I was 14, and no, never mind. I was 15. My bad. Yeah, I was 15 when it came out, 2009, and I remember playing it in the Target back home, and I thought it was fun, so I pre-ordered it from the GameStop, and I got it. And it was great. I was kind of mad that the fact that the PlayStation version had the Joker exclusive with the Joker. Like, it's the same maps, but this time it's the Joker model. And Joker has its own gadgets and everything. Because I wanted to play as the Joker, and I had an Xbox. Because all my friends had Xbox. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I got to see gameplay footage of it. And it looked really cool. Maybe I'll buy a PlayStation one day and get it. But, you know, still. It's a masterpiece of a game. It was a masterpiece of a game. I loved it. It gave you that dark, gritty tone. It gave you that suspense, that feel of terror. That's my dish, not my dishwasher, my dryer. Give me a second. Ah! Sorry about that. So it gave you that feeling. And even Killer Croc's Lair. I mean, like, the thing everybody memes about is the Riddler trophies in all the games, and I get it. But guess what? I completed all the Riddler trophies in all the games. Because for me, they were worth it. Even though they didn't give much, for me, they were worth it. And it was crazy to see. Like, that was, like, when I really started to game. Like, I've been gaming since I was a kid. But I had more liberties when I got my 360 than I did with any other console. So when I really started the game, the thing is, I loved the Arkham Asylum being on an island instead of just part of Gotham. You know, like, you drive up there, anybody can do it. You had to cross a bridge and everything. And I loved looking out in the distance when you finally got from outside of a building to the outside onto the island. You got to look out. And in the distance, you see Gotham. And in one of the buildings, it's Wayne Enterprises. And I was like, man, that's beautiful. I remember thinking to myself, man, I wish that we can be around Wayne Enterprises one day. So after, like, what, a year, nobody caught that Easter egg in, was it Quincy Sharp's office? That secret room? And when it was leaked out by one of the devs, and everybody went to go see it, I remember I showed my family, because my sisters mainly enjoyed the Arkham game. I showed them, like, look at the secret room, and I saw them. And then we saw, it was like the blueprint map where it showed Arkham Island on the left, and then the bridge, and then Arkham City, like Gotham City on the right, and it says Arkham approved stamped on top of it. It's like, this is a hint of a sequel. A couple months later, trailers for Arkham City came out. And it looked insane. Pre-ordered it, went to midnight release in the Best Buy, the same Best Buy, the same exact Best Buy that the Force Unleashed launch party that I talked to you about a while back. It's the same Best Buy, except they didn't throw a launch party. But me and my sister, I love my sister. She still waited up with me until midnight, until I was able to go, like, you know, get it, you know. I don't know if I skipped school that day either. I don't think I did. I don't know. But I know I sound hella bad saying that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't skip school because that was when I was in 11th grade. I was 17 years old. And how do you call it? Yeah, I was 17 years old. And I remembered I barely had any classes that year. I had like 4 periods, and that's it. And like, I only had to do 2 of them every single day. So I'm like, yeah, I was good. Well, anyways, I went to Best Buy, and I started seeing that they were like, you know, they didn't do anything special, but you were able to play a demo of the Arkham City game. And I went to Facebook on one of the laptops, and yeah. Well, anyways, got it on midnight. Got the exclusive pre-order content from Best Buy, and played it. And the fact that you were in Gotham City, but you were in a sectioned off area of Gotham City that was turned into Arkham City and everything like that. You know, you were technically in the city, but not part of the main city where civilization thrives. Instead of you're surrounded by criminals still. So, sorry about that. It's my alarm. Talk to my family real quick. I'm gonna wrap this up. But I still saw Wayne Enterprises in the distance. Fast forward 2 more years, Arkham Origins came out. And guess what? Arkham Origins, whether you like it or not, is still part of the Arkham series. Yeah, it's made by WB Montreal, but still it gets referenced in Arkham Knight. So yeah, it's still part of the series. People bashed on it, and I kind of get it, but I liked it. Yes, it just cleans up Arkham City's map, and it just extends it more in the south area. But it was still a good game. By far the best boss fights. 100%. You can't even argue me there. The best boss fights in all the Arkham series. I love how the villains looked in Batman's beginnings and everything like that. I love how Batman's costume looked. It looks so amazing. I want to recreate that one. It's insane. It's incredible. But that's, you know, I want to replay it. I really do. Well, anyways, and then fast forward 2 more years, I got it. It actually got released at 9 p.m. the night before it was supposed to get released. Some dude was dressed as Batman. I still have a picture of it on my Facebook. One of my favorite nights. My sister went to go take me and everything. Loved it. Fast forward 2 more years. It's 2015, I think. And Arkham Knight is announced. Trailers come out. It looks insane. Posters being plastered up back home. And I went to go get it. Again, released at 9 p.m. the day before it was supposed to be released. And at the same GameStop. Took another picture of it. That's still on my Facebook too. And I'm wearing my... I was wearing a custom black hoodie. And it had the Christopher Nolan Batman logo on it. But it was colored orange. And it had the SF symbol in the middle. And I still have that sweater to this day. Because it's still one of my favorite sweaters. And what do you call it? Yeah, I understand why people were saying there was too much Batmobile on that one, and I totally get it. And I honestly feel like the boss fights could have been better, especially Deathstroke, especially compared to what we got in Origins with Deathstroke. But I still loved it. In the end of the day, I love all the Arkham games. I'm still replaying them again on my Xbox One, but it's the best. They're the best. And they're incredible games. And I know they're coming out with more Arkham-style video games now. I don't know when they're going to come out, but it was announced like last E3 or the E3 before. I'm going to catch up on what they're going to do with where they're at with those. But I'm excited. Arkham series, if none of you have played it yet, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. But please start with Asylum, then do City, then go back to Arkham Origins. Because then you'll really see where these characters were in the beginning. And I don't know. I feel like you'll have a little more appreciation for the characters. And then Night. Just the ultimate conclusion. It's great. And, you know, that's all I really got to say about that. My buddy, he is in Arizona. So today is my day off. And we were supposed to be playing video games together. But he decided to be a good person and help one of his friends out. So screw you, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Hope you're safe. So yeah, well, I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to talk to my family. But just let you guys know, please. Know that I appreciate you guys. And taking your time to listen to me just go off about stuff. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the longest one yet. But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Mind of Mando. And I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.